Hey everyone, I'm Meteorologist Mark Collins. I want to talk hurricane forecast models because I get the question all the time, which is the best forecast model to use? And well, I can tell you what the pros use. They use an array of them and not one model is always the best. However, the National Hurricane Center does offer verification reports, and they came out with one that basically it grades themselves, how well they made the forecast, and they also talk about which models last year did the best. And the winner it was the GFS. So if you know much about models, or maybe you don't, here's your chance to learn, because the GFS is the American model, and that actually performed better than the European model this year. And this line here shows that the top model, well, it was a human, the official National Hurricane Center forecast. You can see the blue line there curves upwards, and that's the GFS. And over the forecast for 2 days out, notice how it goes up, meaning that its skill is better than the benchmark, which is basically a statistical model called the Clipper. And those Clipper models are simply where a storm is based on the time of year. They tend to move in one direction, the persistence concept. And so if you can do better than that, which is just the bare bones of any type of forecast, hey, storms are typically moving in this direction this time of year, then you've got some skill in the forecast. So when you look at these models, they tend to go down because models get a little worse the further out in time you go, and so statistics, they usually catch up, the climatology of a model. That's why they all tend to go down. Now, some of the worst performing models was the COAMPS, that's a Navy model, and also the Canadian CMC models. But the European model, which has usually been neck and neck with the GFS, came in second this year. So we show these model plots on television. They're usually the spaghetti models, and the tighter they're clustered, the more confidence there is that those models are in agreement and the storm is going to behave according to what they say. Now, over the last 5 years, you can see how the forecast track errors have actually decreased. When you go back to, back in the 1990s, a 48-hour forecast was about 200 miles off. Now they're only about 50 miles off. So there have been some improvements that have been made, and you can thank the folks at the National Hurricane Center. In fact, when they graded themselves, their forecasts were either equal or better than the 5-year average. And last year, their 2- and 3-day track forecasts were the best ever on record. Hopefully the storms are easy to forecast this year. They tend to be during August, when they're August and September. Those bigger storms are usually more easier to forecast than early and late in the season, when they tend to be smaller and more of the hybrid systems. All right, so I'm meteorologist Mark Collins. Thanks for checking us out right here on News4JAX.